Hello and welcome. My name is Errity Green and this is Wise Women Oracle and Tarot. And today I am bringing you a pick a card reading on how to succeed in your next endeavor. So I encourage you to stick around. If you find that you like and appreciate this video and this reading, that you like, subscribe, press the bell icon. That way you receive a notification every single time a new video pops up. If you want to get to know more about me, my work, personal readings, you can check out the link below or visit erritygreen.com/shop. And if you'd like to join my other communities on YouTube, do check out the YouTube channel links below: Psychic True Crime and Wise Women Talk, otherwise known as Wise Women Television, shifting it a little bit. So I look forward to seeing you here and over there. I will go ahead and place a picture up now of your 3 card piles to choose from. All right, card pile 1, how to succeed in your next endeavor. So there's something here about making a plan, about building the foundation for this to come alive, for it to come to fruition. It has that energy of, because when I say make a plan, that is relevant, okay? But it's almost like I feel the sense of a foundation. So it's like you have to build the structure of a house before the house can be realized. So there's something here about building the foundation, building the structure, building this thing so that it can outlast, or that it can last, so that it can even materialize or be realized at all. There's something here about, because you have a plan, because you have a foundation, because you have a structure, that anything that could derail you or throw you off center or something like that will not. Does that make sense? So let me give you an example. If a football team were to go out onto a football field and the coach would just be like, all right, guys, good luck to you. Play your best out there. More than likely they're going to lose, okay? They don't have a plan. There is no systematic implementation. Each player isn't aware of what the other player is doing. It would be a total mess, a free-for-all, but a mess. A lot of freedom, but again, a total mess and likely a total failure. So there's something here about you're able to clear away a lot of your fears or doubts of the issue, or anything that you might think be a hiccup, or that you would think would be a hiccup or would expect to be like a monkey wrench in your plans. It's like, if you have the plan or the foundation for something to succeed, as long as you see it through, it will succeed. Right? We can't ever guarantee the level of success, the range of success. I mean, just like movies, they planned on, say, Forrest Gump and some of these other movies on being not flops, but just like mediocre films. And then they became movies that made history. So the point is we might not ever know how it will turn out completely, but we can guarantee something will be seen through from start to finish if we are the ones who see it through. If we have the plan and we take the action to see it all the way through, to the end result, to the final product. There's something here about you're able to steer clear of any problems or kinks or whatever because you have a plan, right? There is no question about where you're headed or where you're going. There's no question about what needs to be done. There's no question about what you do even if something were to come up. So you might have some kind of contingency plan or backup plan. And this doesn't mean that you've overanalyzed it and there's like a minutia of details here, but you know your plan, you know what you're doing, and you have even a plan for sort of basic hiccups or basic things that might pop up or come up. And maybe you don't know what those would be if you've never done this before and it's the first time, in which case you might just have a safety plan or a backup plan. Like, okay, I know if this happens, I call so-and-so, or if this happens, I meditate. I mean, it can be any number of things depending on what your endeavor is, right? With that said, you have a plan of action and you're starting to lay down the groundwork. Card pile 1, this is all about having a plan and laying the groundwork for whatever it is you want to bring forward. And so it's giving you the green light, and it's just a matter of you having the plan and laying that groundwork. So the next part is really believing in this, putting your heart in it, your heart behind it. However you can bring more passion, life, heart into this. So, and belief, right? Anything requires energy to grow, life force energy. And how do we feed our creations? Through our heart, through our passion, through our love for it. Just like children grow through love, right? Or they have a failure to thrive if they aren't given the attention attention, love, and nourishment, nurturing that they need. I cannot talk today. Same thing with plants. When plants are loved and tenderly held and gazed upon with love, they thrive, they grow well. And so there's something here about bringing your heart into it. So as much as you are laying the groundwork and building this foundation and having a plan for what needs to be done, you're also putting your heart into it. You're putting your heart and soul into it. You're letting yourself love this. You're letting yourself love this thing. You're letting yourself go there and go all in. I feel like over time we can become jaded, and maybe after disappointments or losses or seeming failures, we sort of skirt around putting our heart into something. But as much as you're able to bring the love and adoration and admiration for this thing and really put your heart into this and let this be your baby, and it doesn't mean you make it your whole life. It means when you are present to the actions of this plan, that your heart is in it. It's not mechanical, dry, sterile, and empty. There's heart in it. There's feelings in it. There's emotion behind it. There's emotional honesty in it. If you can't put in your heart into it, it's not going to have the love it requires to grow. You really have to tune in and let your heart be poured out onto the page. Now, clearly not all of you, this isn't a product of writing, but I'm sure you understand what I mean is letting your heart be poured into it, letting yourself get excited about it, letting yourself get passionate about it, letting yourself be moved by it, really getting into the feels of it and the belief in it is going to be really important to give this life, because it's saying once you, and this is interesting because I really like, this is giving us a sort of template for, we'll say, manifestation or bringing something forward in the physical, on the physical plane. And I feel like it can be applied to anything. Make the plan, right? Build the foundation, lay the groundwork, all of those being one and the same, more or less, just said in different ways. And then put your heart into it, believe in it, give it love, give it life, hand yourself over to it. Like, what a beautiful formula, I guess, or step, where it's like, yeah, you have to lay the groundwork and you have to give your heart and soul over to it. Let yourself be devoted to it. Let this be your baby or a baby of yours. Really put your energy behind it. And then what's the last thing? Yes. So a part of this too is letting go of, because you have this plan, right? Because you are focused, you have a North Star, you have a true north, you have a compass here. You have a focus. So you're not going to be as easily derailed by fears or doubts or limiting beliefs or excuses or whatever, the kind of hiccups and obstacles that can tend to pop up on a path of success, where we can be easily derailed and or turned around altogether, or stopped and stagnating, and or just paralyzed and unsure of where to move forward. This is why you have a plan. Because here's the thing for you, card pile one. You want that plan. That's obviously important because it came out right off the bat for you. You want to have a plan because that way you don't get stuck. Because I would imagine if this is here, this means at times things pop up and derail you or throw you off center and or paralyze you, and then you aren't able to move forward. And so this is about learning to grease the wheels of keeping going and staying consistent and taking action consistently and building momentum and creating a flow, even with the fears and doubts and hiccups and all those things that come up. It's like, and you get up again and you get up again, right? The boxer who wins isn't the one who just won. He's the one who gets up after he's hit every time, right? So it's getting up again and getting up again. And that what's going to make it easy for you is having that plan, right? It's having that plan, knowing what you have to do and doing it no matter what, right? This doesn't mean you totally bypass your feelings or your challenges or hiccups. Really be with yourself, support yourself, be in relationship with those parts of you that might be fighting or coming up or whatever. I have plenty of other readings on inner work, shadow work, other success readings that might dive deeper into those elements in terms of really tending to yourself. But the primary focus here actually for you is laying the groundwork, putting your heart and soul into it, and then using that action plan to continue to take action even when the other stuff comes up. Because what's going to happen over time is that as you are getting in this habit of building momentum and moving consistently on this plan, once you build a certain amount of momentum and you have enough passion, it's almost like that overrides and clears out any of the other noises and voices and things that can tend to throw us off. I actually have a book here, and I don't know if it says it, and I feel like it was either, I wish I was clearer on it because I've always had this awareness within myself, and then I feel like in this book, it's called The 4 Desires. It's somewhere around here. And so that validated what a feeling was that I had all this time, you know, in my life anyway. Did any of that make sense? I read a book that validated something I already knew, and I don't know what the exact words are, but it said something along the lines of, we're always going to have subconscious fears come up. We're always going to have old stuff come up. We're always going to be facing ourselves. We're always going to be facing emotional discomfort. In the face of destiny, we are going to fight every demon, battle, and dragon along the way, and so be it. However, if you have the passion and you keep going, you will eventually drown all of that out. But the passion does have to override and outweigh all of the other noise and voices. And so that's what I'm saying here is, once you're giving your heart over to this and you're moving forward on the action plan and you keep on going and you're building that momentum, anything else is going to be washed out, right? What do they call that? When there's a saying, right? It's like washed out with the laundry, something like that. But all of that's going to no longer be as much of a heavyweight as it has been for you in the past, or things might have thrown you off. You have a plan now, you're moving forward, your heart's in it, and you're letting go of anything that used to come up and in the way of creating this greater success for yourself. So card pile 1, that is your reading, and that is how you're going to succeed in your next endeavor. If you would like to share more below in the comments, I'd love to hear from you. Do like, subscribe, press the bell icon. That way you receive notifications every single time a new reading pops up. If you want to get to know more about me, my work, personal readings, you can visit erritygreen.com/shop or check out the link below. And of course, I do have 2 other YouTube channels that are also updated regularly: Psychic True Crime, Wise Women Talk. Do check that out below, and I look forward to seeing you over there. Thank you, card pile 1. Okay, card pile 2, how to succeed in your next endeavor. So right off the bat, this is about preserving or conserving your energy. This is about only devoting yourself, giving your energy and time and attention to things that make you feel abundant, that make you feel bountiful, that make you feel good. It's moving toward the things that expand you, enliven you, awaken you, inspire you, move you, touch you, okay? So the more you move toward and into these areas, the more the other stuff naturally, organically, effortlessly just falls away. There's something here about really taking care of your energy, okay? And this doesn't feel like a strict, strong boundary like the Queen of Swords. Whoosh. You know, it doesn't feel like that. It feels like, I care about me. I care about my energy. I care about how I feel. I care about my well-being. I care about my inner child. And I'm only going to move toward those things that affirm life, that give life, that are abundant, that are loving, that are warm, that are tender, that feel good, that make me feel good, that make me feel abundant and alive and inspired, where I thrive. That's what I'm going to give my attention to. Anything less than thriving, you're not doing it. And it really is like that. There's a strong boundary, but the thing is, it's not like fierce. It's simply a standard. We can either have, this is the energy that's coming up, so I'm just going to speak to it. We can either have boundaries or standards, okay? And there are 2 different energies here. Boundaries sort of implies this erect wall of a lot of forceful energy that requires even some energy from you to uphold it, to sustain it. And it feels like protection from something else. And then there's this energy of standards where it's like, it's totally neutral and you're not even giving any time or attention to even the standard. You don't have to uphold it. You just know subconsciously, like, you don't have to give any time or energy attention to upholding this boundary. It's like, if something doesn't align, out the door it goes, right? So what I mean by that is this. Let me give you an example. A boundary might be, and this is a really simplistic example, but I want you to be able to apply it to your experience. So I'm giving the most simplistic example possible. A boundary might be this. In this scenario, in this card reading, a boundary is, let's say, someone has a house, they have a yard, and they have this really, big fortress-like fence, and it has like, no trespassing, dog will hurt you, or whatever those freaking warning, safety dog, or whatever those signs are. But it's like they have overgrowth and this strong fence and this high fence, and they have this dog that's protecting them, and you almost hear the dogs barking on the other side. And then when you do knock on the door, they come in and they're like, what are you doing here? Get off my lawn, right? That's the kind of energy of boundary, where it requires a lot of energy to sustain, a lot of ferocity, a lot of unnecessariness. Let's be honest, like, is it all really necessary? Probably not, but that's their boundary, right? Where a standard might be something like, there's a simple sign on the door that says, we don't welcome solicitors. Okay. And then if someone knocks on the door, they don't even answer it. Does that make sense? There's a neutrality to standards where it's just, if it doesn't align with you, you're not giving your attention to it. You're not giving the time of day to it. You're not investing in it. If the standard being that it has to help you thrive or support you to thrive or feel like you're thriving, otherwise it's on its way. as opposed to having to set boundaries with this person or that thing or this job or whatever. It's like one requires a lot of efforting and a lot of energy and usually a lot of angst and consistent maintenance and all of this stuff, as opposed to just, if it doesn't meet your standard, it's on its way out the door. You don't answer the door, right? So there's this energy here of conserving your energy, of honoring yourself, of choosing things that only support you to thrive. And I feel like that's because things can suck your energy or drain your energy or drain you dry. And then you feel like you don't have the energy to maintain, sustain, move forward, do what you need to do in order to bring about a successful project, a successful launch, a successful promotion, whatever it is that you're wanting to be successful in. You end up being sucked dry, maybe even brought down to depression or numbness or drained or whatever, maybe even sick or exhausted or fatigued because you're giving your energy to all these things that aren't life affirming. So it takes from you instead of giving to you. You want to choose things that also give to you, where you are bountiful and everything that you experience is bountiful. And this is beautiful reciprocal experience of life affirming life, life begetting life, right? So that's the energy that you want to be in and that you're moving towards, so that things don't suck you dry and lead you to burnout, fatigue, exhaustion, overwhelm, whatever it is. And it also changes your outlook, and then it changes your perception, and then it changes how you feel, and then you're not motivated to move forward. So you can see how this spirals very easily and quickly. It's very important for you to maintain, sustain your energy at a high level, and it's going to require you to only attend to, give your time and energy to things that support your thriving. Yeah. So as someone who is a spiritual being, you might consider yourself too a mystic, spiritual seeker, healer, teacher. It's so important for you to maintain this energetic embodiment for yourself so you can uphold all the things that you want to create and do. This energy feels very along the lines of leadership and or along the lines of big moves and or along the lines of big visions, big dreams, spiritual destiny, that kind of thing. And it's like when we have that kind of energy in our lives and we're meant to bring some big visions, big dreams forward, it requires us to be so... I don't want to say delicate, but and discerning isn't it either, but just to pay really special attention to what we're giving our time, energy, and attention to. That's really what this is about for you, Card Pile 2. How are you going to succeed? About being very discerning about what you give your time, energy, and attention to. But even discerning feels like it requires energy. So it's just having the standard, and anything that doesn't meet that standard, it's out the door, it's out the window. And it's just as easy as the wind blows a leaf by your door, right? It doesn't require any effort or work out of you. It's simply as you don't give your attention to it. So does social media, scrolling on social media help you feel to thrive? Does your neighbor make you feel good? Does your ex really excite you or not? You know, it's like, what are the things you're going to continue to engage with and what are you not? Because this isn't just work, career, project, business related, because that's where we tend to see success. This is about even in your personal life, what are you attending to? What are you giving your time, energy, and attention to? Yeah, because it's saying your job is your primary job, Card Pile 2, to be completely honest. And I say to be completely honest because, it feels like it's an exceptional responsibility and something that is unique. And it's to uphold this, dare I say, high vibration. I don't love owning that or saying that, or things tend to be paradoxical. It's almost like, yes, that might be our duty, job, mission, obligation. But on the other side of it, we're free to be human, imperfect, messy, flawed, and still be successful and still be loved and are still worthy and valued and valuable, right? So that's important. I want to make sure I always offer the holistic context in those kinds of situations with that kind of reading. But it's basically saying you're meant to like hold the vision. You're meant to kind of like the Joan of Arc, whether man or woman, however you identify, what non-binary or otherwise, it's like, you're meant to hold the vision. You're a dreamer, a visionary. You're meant to do big things, spiritual seeker, spiritual teacher, whatever, but you're meant to be here to do big things, to accomplish a significant destiny. And that's going to require your energy to be in tip-top shape. So it's saying for you, Card Pile 2, your success is all about your energy and your energy expenditure and where you're giving your time, energy, attention. And are you ensuring that the things, people, places, environments, experiences, surroundings in your life are giving life back to you and are bountiful and abundant and reflective of spirit? Like if you were to be in your own heaven, that's basically your question. If you were in heaven, would this thing belong? And if not, out it goes. If it would not be in your heaven, like if you know the movie or book, What Dreams May Come, when you basically experience or create your own heaven, your own experience of heaven, it's like if That thing, person, place, whatever would not be in your heaven. It doesn't belong. Now, for some people, they might consider this spiritual bypassing, but it's not. It's not like you're avoiding all the work of it, because you're still going to encounter obstacles. You're still going to have to learn, grow, and heal and face your stuff. But you can either do that in your own heaven or in another version of hell. So where do you want to be facing your stuff at, right? Likely, hopefully, it's in the place of your own heaven, where it's like, okay, you're held in love and tenderness, and you're thriving and being moved, like emotionally, like this is your, particular dream or vision that you're living in and living out every day. And then of course things are going to come up, and awesome. You're even more equipped, more resourced to be able to move through any kind of roadblocks or hurdles because you're in that space. But if you're living in a reality that's not at all where you thrive, and things are taken from you and they don't feel good and so on and so forth, and you're not taking care of your energy, you're not attending to where you expend your energy, and then also things are coming up, this is going to drain you, because your job specifically in the age of light or the new earth or whatever is to really hold the vision, hold the energy, and be most honoring about where your attention goes, what you're giving your energy to, and how you feel. So that is your reading, card pile 2. That is how you're going to succeed in your next endeavor. I encourage you to share your comments, your story, your feedback below. Do like, subscribe, press the bell icon. That way you receive notifications every single time a new reading pops up. If you want to get to know more about me, my work, coaching programs, personal readings, you can check out the details below, or visit erritygreen.com/shop. Did I already say that? We'll see. And last but not least, if you would like to check out my other YouTube channels, I also have 2 other YouTube channels that might tickle your fancy. You can check out Psychic True Crime and Wise Women Talk, both of which are linked below. Thank you, card pile 2. Card pile 3, how to succeed in your next endeavor. So you're coming out of a period of some kind of darkness. Now, it doesn't mean that it has to be bad, or that there was some dark night of the soul. It very much could be. And of course, our perception of wrong, bad, right, wrong, whatever is limited to the human mind, but you might have been through a darker period of time for you. This could have been an introspective phase, a hermit phase, a reflection or reflective phase, a sabbatical retreat, hibernation, dark night of the soul, but a time where I feel like your energy was lower. Your outlook may not have been as optimistic or positive or empowering as it once was or will be. You were sort of patching up wounds, doing some repair work, doing some healing, some reconciliation, doing some deep inner child and or shadow work, but going into the deeper inner recesses of your mind, of your psyche, of your subconscious, and doing that excavation kind of work so you can get really clear on who you are, your innermost layers, all the things that are working with you and for you and against you, just really getting to know all aspects, parts, and pieces of yourself so that you are fully aware moving forward of your own wholeness, being fully aware of who you are in both light and shadow, light and dark, who you are on the inside, who you're on the outside, how you manifest, it's almost like getting to know, those deeper inner recesses of you, your shadow side. So even some of you, it could have been getting to know your moon sign in addition to your sun sign. You might have operated as your sun sign for most of your life. And then through this experience, it brought you closer to your sun sign or even to your north node, right? But I feel like most of you are operating now on your moon sign or getting to know your moon sign. And once you are fully integrated with sun and moon sign, and I know this is a really random reading, but this feels relevant, and this isn't necessarily an astrological truth. This is something that's coming through intuitively for this reading, card pile 3. It has something to do with you were operating as your sun sign for most of your life. This whole shift, what it is you've been through and been moving through, was to help you get to know your moon sign and get clear on your deepest parts of yourself in terms of your moon sign, and as well as aware of your true north, i.e. your north node. And if you don't know astrology, just look these up. It's not a big deal, and this doesn't have to apply. You don't have to care, and you can just move on in a moment because this message is almost through. But basically, it's like you're getting to know your moon sign, and as you integrate sun and moon, that's what's going to bring about this north node, your destiny, your legacy, your greater success, what it is you're meant to fulfill, accomplish, experience, or achieve in this lifetime. So all of that said, you're moving out of a time of moving through this reflection period, that moon period, the dark night, and you're stepping into a time of greater light, right? You're leaving winter behind. Winter's end is here, and you're stepping into spring. Now, as you're moving from winter into spring, it's almost like you can still be carrying some of that winter's energy with you into spring, but you want to keep moving forward into spring. Okay. So this is one of those things of you're naturally transitioning. You don't have to force yourself into spring, but you're also not going to hold yourself back into winter. You're going to continue to move forward, to focus on spring, whatever abundance is for you, however it feels for you. Moving toward thriving, moving toward life, moving toward the energy of ripeness and abundance and bounty and gardens, that kind of energy, where the Empress energy in the tarot, as an example, you're moving toward that. And then you're letting winter end. It's already on its way out. But the thing is, in nature, how does it work? There is a transition phase, but ultimately, eventually, spring comes and winter's over. It's 80 degrees. It's humid as heck. The wasps and bees are out. There's no undoing it. It just happens. Then we turn around and winter's gone. So what needs to happen for you, or what is happening for you, is you're moving into spring, but you also have to make sure that you're letting winter go. And I'll ask if it doesn't show up, how do you let winter go? I already know, because it's already coming up. So you're leaving that behind. Winter is coming to a close. You're finding closure with winter. So now it's just a matter of keeping your eye on the prize and keep moving forward. There's not much need at this point to look back, to ruminate, to stay sort of in that zone of kind of rehashing and ruminating and commiserating over the same old things and all the things in winter. It's like you've taken your discoveries with you, you've integrated the lessons without the pain, right? And you're moving forward. And if you have the pain, that can stay too. It's not a big deal. It's a matter of you're staying focused, due north, and that's it, right? You're not turning around, sitting down, popping a squat, and be like, all right, hanging out in winter, even though spring's here. It's like, no, letting yourself be pulled and initiated into springtime. It's your time to move forward. And this is where the abundance that you seek is. You've been asking yourself, where is the abundance? Where do I get the payoff? Like, look at all the things that I've been through, navigated, journeyed through. Like, I've been through it all, walked the valley of the shadow of death. Like, where is my plaque or my award or reward or whatever? And it's like, well, this is on its way, but you have to enter springtime. So, and springtime is on its way. So it's not something, by the way, we can't avoid what's ours, but we can at times delay it. And so it's like, you don't want to delay this. You want to move forward. So continue moving forward into spring and your bounty will be there. But if you sit down and continue to stagnate in winter and kind of remain in that space of winter and your headspace, you very well could delay the inevitable, which is your greater abundance, which is the reward, the payoff, what it is that you seek, the fruits of your labor. Yeah, so you're leaving this behind. Now, how do you move into spring instead of sort of ruminating, commiserating, staying in that same energy of winter? This is about focusing on doing what you love, of giving, of being of service, of being in that flow of spirit and creative expression, the things that make you feel alive, the things that make you feel good. This is about doing what you love and loving what you're doing. Doing what you love and loving what you're doing. Doing what you love and loving what you're doing. The more you can get into that energy and stay in that energy, the more a lot of this other energy, the winter energy, is going to be able to pass through easily with an easy transition, smooth and graceful transition. The next thing you know, spring is here. So it's a matter of doing what you love and loving what you're doing. Okay? So doing what you love might be giving your attention, time, and energy to all the things that you love, and all the things that you love in your work, or all the things that you love in your life, all the people that you love in your life. But it's also about being present and grateful and experiencing the beauty and the gifts of the things that you might not always love or favor or prefer, right? It's also loving what you're doing. So even if it's not something that you would consider doing what you love, well, if you are doing the dishes or you're cooking or you're commuting or whatever it is in your life, getting into that energy of being able to love and appreciate and value what you're doing. Because the more you can get in this energy of doing what you love and loving what you're doing, that's that springtime energy, that's that abundant energy, that's that thriving energy. And then winter is going to successfully come to an end. It's going to transpire, expire, and then you will be living in this greater abundant reality. It's almost like you've been planting seeds all of this time with your deeper reflective work, your solitude, the inner work, the shadow work, whatever it's been for you. It's interesting because it's like, I feel like the seeds were already planted, but I feel like you were going in and doing the weeding. Okay. So whatever you're going to experience in terms of the fruits of your labor, these are long planted seeds. These are things you planted maybe even 10 years ago. So you might even look back 10 years ago. This is going to be exactly the case for everybody, but it feels like that. You might look back and see what you were doing 10 years ago or what you had your eyes set on, and it could be, obviously between 7 and 12 years ago, but 10 years ago as an average or median value, and see where you were, what you were doing, and what you were planting 10 years ago. the fruits of your labor over the last 10 years are going to start to blossom. And it's because, so the energy that wants to come through here is like, let's just say you planted those seeds 10 years ago, and then there were still a lot of weeds that were kind of getting in the way of these seeds blossoming and flourishing. So the past couple of years, or 3 or 4 years, or whatever it's been for you, it feels like a good chunk of time. So maybe 3 years for some, but I'm not getting the exact value like I am 10. So maybe it's 5, so maybe it's 2, maybe it's 1, 6 months for some, 3 years for others, right? I'm not getting the exact value in this one. You've had to be down sort of underneath the ground, 6 feet under, pulling out all the weeds that have been getting in the way of those creations, of those seedlings that have been trying to blossom but haven't been able to over the past decade, but they were unable to for whatever reason, right? And what have you been doing in your solitude, your reflection, your dark night of the soul, your healing time, your healing season? You've been going in and clearing those weeds. So maybe self-doubts or subconscious patterning or ancestral cycles and generational cycles and programming, things that have, in one way or another, we always get in our own way, right? Of us getting in the way of what we truly want to achieve, accomplish, experience. And so you've been clearing out these weeds so that these seeds can blossom. You planted these a long time ago. Now you've been taking out the weeds, and now it's a matter of more or less watering them or letting them grow, thrive, flourish, and blossom by focusing on doing what you love and loving what you're doing. Let's see what else is here. Yeah, so this is talking about, again, you were taking a deep look at yourself and the ways in which, and so you might have done this through seeing what triggered you, but you've taken a good hard look at your triggers and the things that have shaped you, molded you, became you, basically. Taking a good hard look at that. And you're also, I think, determining how these things can serve in your greater vision, what it is that you want to bring forth, your greater success. But I feel like this was just a deeper self-inquiry, self-discovery, so you could just get clear of the things that were serving you. And I don't even want to say the things that weren't serving you, but maybe the things that weren't serving your greater vision. So you were just gaining clarity over this time and doing that self-discovery work. Let me see, there was another message here that wanted to come through. Yeah, so you were doing that deeper inner work over this period of time so that you could move into that greater blossoming. Again, getting aware of the weeds that tend to grow for you, because here's the thing. Once you pull those weeds, let's be honest, you might return to those things. And the weeds might grow back just like they do outside, but guess what? Now you're aware of it, and it'll be much simpler the next time, and it's not going to hold you back or pull you back or stagnate you for too long, because now you're aware and you know exactly what you're looking for. This was never about you getting caught up in the weeds, right? It was never about you getting stuck there, because I feel like some of you have gotten stuck there, or feel like you might, or whatever, or feel like you have to be there. It's like it was never about that. It was just about you being aware and then continuing to move forward with the energy of tending to the rest of the garden, right? It's like you would just pluck weeds now until forever. You weren't meant to stay there, but you were meant to become aware of them, pull them. If they grow back, you pull them again, and each time it gets easier. And each time you gain more clarity as to what gets in the way or how you tend to get in the way of your own success and what it is that you desire. Your pile is very much about the subconscious, about the deeper healing work, about understanding childhood or ancestral programming, about breaking cycles, breaking through cycles, and leaving those old cycles behind, i.e. pulling those weeds. And if they do pop up again, so be it. They're a hungry ghost, so to speak. They're not necessarily work, and you simply let them be and you move on. Let me see what else is here. Yeah, so again, when you're doing what you love and loving what you do, this is going to help you maintain that energy of holding the vision toward what you want, maintaining your true north. So let's see if there's anything else that wants to come through for card pile 3. We're asking how to succeed in your next endeavor. It's successfully moving forward though, right? You're moving on, you're moving forward. We're no longer focused on the past, ruminating on the past, continuing to just pull and pluck weeds. You're focused on tending to the garden, of observing the beauty in your garden, relishing and savoring the roses and the plants and all these things that are popping up. You're spending time in the bounty that is nature, as opposed to just focusing on the problems or what you think needs to be fixed or what you think needs to be improved, or ruminating over losses or failures or disappointments or upsets. It's like you don't want to get caught there. It's much more about, right, now enjoying what's here and enjoying the fruits of your labor, enjoying the bounty that is here, like tending to the rest of the garden. And then what do you know? You're going to turn around and all these things have blossomed, bloomed, and flourished. Is there anything that wants to come through here? This is all for you about the inner work, the deeper work, and that's still going to be with you now, but it's going to be in like phases, little morsels, little breadcrumbs. You're not having to like totally excavate or go 6 feet under for all of this every time. Now you're just aware of most of your patterning, your program responses, your reactivity, the way that you show up, the way that you get in your way. Okay, now you're aware, and now you can move forward and continue to garden and be successful. And when I say garden, I mean, I'm talking about not just actual gardening, but like manifesting and focusing on what you want to build, create, achieve. And you can tend to all of that without these other things holding you back. It was always just awareness so that you could move forward. Awareness so that you can move forward. It was never about staying in that sticky, icky place of sort of like the quicksand or quick mud of the subconscious that where you can just sink and lose yourself completely. It was never about staying there. Winter has come to an end. Now you're focused on spring. You just need to keep moving forward. All right, card pile 3, if this lands or resonates for you, I encourage you to like, subscribe, press the bell icon. That way you receive notifications every single time a new reading pops up. I'd love to hear from you, of course, in the comments as well. If you find you want to get to know more about me, my work, programs, intuitive readings, you can check out those details below or visit erritygreen.com/shop. And if you would like to check out my other YouTube channels where you can also subscribe, become a part of those communities over there. It's a lot of fun. Check out Psychic True Crime and Wise Women Talk, both of which are also linked below. Thank you, card pile 3.